Yo, 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 traders, bonjour, hola, ¿cómo está? We do this in Spanish now and again. How the devil are you? I hope you're all having a good trading day. What are we going to do in the live stream today, I hear you ask? Well, we are going to look at a trade that I am in. I'm in a couple of trades, right? I haven't entered any new trades today, but I'm in a couple of trades, and the pound Swiss franc trade is quite interesting right now. So we'll take a look at that because we can learn some things from this. Also, guys, we've got news coming out. So let's hear a big cheer. We can play Guess the News game. Come on down. The price is hot. Thank you, editor. Sound effects, you name it, we've got it. Yeah, half past the hour, guys. We've got continuing jobless claims and initial jobless claims. So we'll need to look at this employment data. We will look at a US dollar pair and we will guess what the news is because of the reaction on the chart. I know the New York Post described it as one of the best online games the world has ever seen, right? In the UK, the Financial Times said 2 thumbs up to, I'm in a very silly mood. But yeah, so there you go, guys. We're going to play Guess the News game. It's not that exciting, but, you know, it helps us understand the reaction of news. What else are we going to do? We are going to look at some trades. And yes, of course, how can I forget you guys? We are going to look at all of your questions. And I'm going to try and answer as many as I can, right? So don't be shy, guys. Come say hello. Leave a question, right? And I will endeavor to answer most of them. All of them, in fact. If you are a Simply Forex YouTube member, I will take your questions first, right? So if your name appears in green, you're a member, I'll take your questions first, but then I will still try and answer everyone's question. Right, so that is the plan of attack, guys, right? I've got my coffee, I've got today, a little bit of brandy in it, obviously, in my LFC cup. So a quick slurp of coffee to give me the power I need. Right, Himanshu, how are you? Okay, he's ready for shorting Euro Swiss franc. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Savin, hi Tom, how have you been? I've been very well, Savin. Thank you very much. Mehi, how are you, Mehi? Haven't seen your name for a while. It's like school. I take a note of everyone's name. If you don't turn up for a day, we put a big red mark against your name. I'm only kidding. We don't do that. Michael, how are you, Michael? How are the 15 dogs? Rich Paul, what's up? Hamid, how are you, Hamid? Noor, I haven't forgot your question, Noor. We'll take a look at that. I was looking at pound Swiss. Savin was looking at pound Swiss franc sales. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. Colin, hello, Colin. How are you, mate? So I am in pound Swiss franc sales. So let's start with pound Swiss franc, right? Now, I entered yesterday, right? I entered here, put my stop above here, and the idea was to take price back down to this 100, if not a bit further, right? So this is the trade that I'm in, and I've put this trade into the VIP Discord channel, right? Now, this is how I am going to roll with this trade, okay? As simple as this, right? Now, H4 structure is still intact. Just, right? This is where we're at currently. And like you say, we had strong pound news, right? So the pound shot up. Yeah, it's Sod's law, right? You're in a trade, you want bad news, you get good news, right? No problem. And this will go on to your question, Nora, as well. Now, I am going to trade it as the following, right? If, for example, this H4 candle stays like this, I am going to just get out of this trade, right? H4 structure has broke. I'm wrong. Okay. All right. So if the H4 candle finishes like this, I'm wrong. If the H4 candle finishes like this and closes back into this last high, yeah, which is possible because we are at a nice support now resistance level and we're at the moving average 20, right? This is feasible. This could happen. Then I will stay in the trade, right? So if we get a candle like this, I will stay in this trade and continue on my merry way with this trade. If it stays like this, I will just close the trade. And if I close the trade there, guys, I basically save myself, right? My stop's at 1, 2, 10. I save myself 35 pips of damage. Okay. So this is where we're at the moment, right? With pound Swiss franc. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there, guys. I am also in New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, right? Now this, right? I entered here, put my stop below here, right? And my target was here, right? Literally, my target was at 89 and this come up to 88. Nothing quite as frustrating in trading as this, right? And in hindsight, which is a beautiful thing, but all be millionaires in hindsight, right? I should have took profit. Yeah, we have a saying, don't be a dick for a tick, right? And that's what I was being, okay? And I'm still in this trade, right? Now, my stop loss is here, right? But I'm going to move this up to here, right? If this level breaks, hence the alarm is in here, okay? I'm going to get out of this trade early as well, right? The trade is not doing what I want. And if you get a H4 structure break that goes against your trade, that is quite a big, you know, quite a big thing telling you to get out of the bloody trade. And, you know, from my morning vid, guys, with Euro Aussie dollar, you know, I should have bloody got out of that trade. Okay. So, yeah, that's how I'm going to roll with the trades that I'm in right now. Okay. So we shall see, right? This could quite easily, right? It's at the moving average 20, nice piece of support. This could quite easily do this. And pound Swiss franc, right, could quite easily do this. So I'm not jumping to any rash decisions, guys, but, you know, I will manage the trade, right? And just going back to that Euro Aussie dollar trade from yesterday, remember this break, and I spoke about it in this morning's vid, right? This candle here broke structure. There is no ifs and buts, right? It broke structure. Yeah, I was looking at the H1, should have just bloody ignored that, okay? And this broke structure, right? I should be out of this trade here. Instead, I got out of this trade here, where it, you know, where it hit my stop loss or hedge, whatever you use, right? So, yeah, please bear that in mind, guys, right? Manage trades, yeah? Sometimes they need a bit of management. Sometimes the market changes on you. Right, so they do need management. I know there's a lot to be said for sitting and forgetting. Right, I get that, but if you manage a trade, I think you will minimize losses and maximize profits over the space of 6 months. You will have a better return by managing trades compared to just leaving them. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are with my trades, guys. And now I want to look at a question from our VIP, right? So let's go here, guys, right? So where are we? Not Tom's trades. Let's go to Ask Tom, right? And this was the question, guys, right? So Noor said, hi, Tom, I've been trading. And guys, this is the VIP Trading Academy, right? So you can ask me questions in here, right? And I will get back to you and answer your questions, right? So, hi, Tom. I've been trading last couple of weeks, not keeping an eye on the news much. I do stay clear from major news pairs, but I've been ignoring checking the news calendar, and I feel it makes me stay with my trades checklist and let my trades run without me being worried about the news. So do you think this is bad trade management, or, you know, do you think this is okay to, you know, sort of just trade, not keeping an eye on the news, right? Now, it's a good question, right? So my answer would be this, okay? Now, like with this pound Swiss franc trade, right? You are only really wrong when structure is broken, right? So when this level is broken, I am wrong, right? So arguably until that point, news or anything, you know, it almost doesn't matter. The point at which I'm wrong doesn't change, right? If it breaks that level, I'm wrong. However, you know, if you're in a trade and a big news comes out, or big news is coming out, then you are taking a bit of a punt really at the news, right? So I don't think it can, you know, like I say, right? If the news come out, okay, but it never broke this level. So this was pound news, right? I was aware that it was coming out, but it's never broke this level. Now, I was in a trade because of news and my stop loss was up here. Now, it didn't affect my trade. I haven't done anything differently, right? It's still the fact that if this candle finishes above this level, I will close the trade, right? But, yeah, you know, if I'm nicely in profit with a trade, right, why not take a bit of profit off? Okay, just to mitigate risk, take some profit. And if it does shoot off in your direction, happy days, you've still got some profit on the trade anyway. Yeah, so that's the only one thing I would say. And the other thing I'd say is over the space of 6 months, it's going to work itself out, right? You're going to have trades where news goes with you, and you're going to have trades where news goes against you. Now, if that's your strategy, that's what you need to stick to, right? Because if your understanding is I'm going to let every trade just play out regardless of news, then you need to let every trade do that. You can't start messing around with one trade and not the other and letting one trade run and not the other. It has to be part of your strategy, right? I don't care what the news does. I'm just going to get out according to my strategy, right? So yes, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, you can trade at, you know, regardless of the news, and it, you know, it will work itself out over 6 months, right? Or you can manage it and, you know, perhaps take some profit out, reduce stop losses, etc. Now, it'll be interesting, Nor, how that plays out over 6 months, right? So you're part of the VIP Trading Academy, so, you know, keep us posted, yeah? See, you know, it'll be interesting to see what proportion of trades go with price action, right? So yeah, Nor, I hope that answers your question. Nothing wrong with what you're doing, but it has to be consistent. Right, what else are we looking at? For Pello, how are you, mate? Hi, Aya. Okay. Okay, so we've got a few questions here now, guys. So Himanshu wants to look at Euro Swiss franc, and Savin, we've just looked at pound Swiss franc. So let's take a look at Euro Swiss franc now. And yeah, we looked at this yesterday, Himanshu, right? And the problem with Euro Swiss franc, right? We're in a downtrend. We are, right? We're getting lower highs, yeah, lower lows, but we are at this support level and the moving average 20. So day trend is telling me to sell, but this support level is telling me that buyers could be here, right? So that's why I'm not interested in selling Euro Swiss franc, okay? If I got a big bearish red candle that did this, right, that broke out of this level and broke the moving average 20, then okay, we can start selling, right? So don't fixate on euro Swiss franc, right? There are a lot better Swiss franc pairs. Look at CAD Swiss franc. This is the one to trade, right? Because this is also in a downtrend, right? We had a bit of just unsure price action here, but then bang, right? We've had a nice big red candle, breaking any lows in here that might have been higher lows, right? We're below the moving average 20, and we're bouncing off of resistance, right? Let's just show you this resistance, right? From over here. So you can see, comparing euro Swiss franc and CAD Swiss franc, I would much rather trade Canadian dollar Swiss franc, right? So don't limit yourself. You know, this is why I look at 28 currency pairs, because I can choose between euro Swiss franc, pound Swiss franc, Aussie dollar Swiss franc, New Zealand dollar Swiss franc, Swiss franc yen, US dollar Swiss franc, right? I can choose, if I like Swiss franc strength, I can choose the pair that gives me the best setup, right? If I like Aussie dollar strength, I can look at Aussie dollar New Zealand, Aussie dollar US dollar, Aussie dollar CAD. You get the gist, right? And I can trade the one that gives me the best setup. All right. So don't fixate on one currency pair. Yeah. Look at 28 currency pairs, and it'll also give you a very good understanding of what is strong and what isn't. Yeah. So yeah, do that. Right, what else are we looking at here? We've looked at pound Swiss franc. Rich Paul, how was your first year trading real account? Share the experience. There's not really a word to sum it up. I remember my first ever trade, right? I remember my first ever trade, and I lost $200 in about 4 minutes. Right, I was over leveraged. Right, it's my first trade. Yeah, you should be doing like $10, $20, and I managed to lose $200. In the space of a few minutes. Right, so I remember my first ever trade, my first ever live trade, and I just closed it. I panicked. I closed the trade. I saw $200 negative. I closed the trade. I was red, sweating. It was not a good experience, right? If that almost should have put me off, but I was determined to trade. And then, what a good learning curve as your first trade, right? You could lose $200 like that. Yeah. So there's so that's your first lesson. And the first year is just getting comfortable, I would say, right? Don't expect to make money. Right? Really, you're learning trading, right? If you break even, you've had a huge success, right? And just get comfortable with trading, and that was my goal. But I wasn't comfortable, right? But by the, let's say 1 year into trading, I was comfortable with placing trades, letting the market go against me, draw down, understanding the charts better. But again, like every new trader on the planet will do this, right? In your first year, I must have tried about 1,000 different strategies. Had a strategy, I've mentioned this before. Had a strategy, had a bad trade, tweaked the strategy. Traded the amended strategy, had a bad trade, tweaked the strategy. And what I had at the start of the year to what I had at the end of my first trading year was like unrecognizable. I remember having just a sea of indicators on my chart, right? And I probably did that for a couple of years, right? And just kept tweaking and, but learning, right? That's the you're not, if you take up golf, you're not going to be red hot at it straight away. Right? You're going to shank stuff into the woods for a couple of years, right? So allow yourself time. Don't beat yourself up, which is what I did, right? Because it makes it more of a stressful environment than it should be. And what I would also suggest is, again, this is what every new trader does. I promise you 100%. Every new trader does this. New traders want instant gratification. So my first trade that I placed, and I lost $200, right, was on the 15-minute chart. So every new trader wants to trade like 5 minutes or 15 minutes because they want a quick response to their trade. They want to be right and wrong, and they want a quick response, right? And then as you realize you're going to get stopped out a lot, right, by using the lower time frames, right, you start going up higher and higher time frames. Okay, so the two things that, take my word for it, and you should learn from, don't do it, is don't start on the small time frames, right? You will find this impossible, right? Because again, you're like, I'm learning, I want to be in trades, so I need to be on the lower time frames. Just, it's a mistake. What you need to do as a learner trader is go on the higher time frames and just let the trade play out very slowly and learn patience and discipline, right? That's what you should do. But everyone does the opposite. And the other thing is just stick with a strategy, right? Based on higher time frames. Yeah. And you're probably going to do it, but don't use indicators, right? You don't really need them. Yeah, fib levels I find useful. I've got a moving average 20 to visualize trend and overbought, oversold, but you don't really need them, right? You just need to understand price action. So start on the higher time frames, don't chop about with strategies, and use price action. Right? Just keep it simple. Yeah, don't clog your chart up with indicators. I promise you, at least 50% of you are doing that, right? Or have done that, right? If you're a little bit longer into your journey. So yeah, it was, yeah, that's what I would learn from my first year. Yeah, because I kept changing everything, changing time frames, changing indicators, changing strategy. I found my first year stressful, and the goal was to be comfortable, right? And it didn't work out, okay? And obviously lost money, right? If you're not trading well, you're going to lose money, right? So, yeah. And another thing I would share also, so I had a job, right? I had a full-time job when I started trading, right? So I had the security blanket of a salary, right? And this is not me being, I know there's people who are unemployed out there, and times can be hard when you don't have a job, right? And I'm not saying this flippantly, but a regular way, and people have responsibilities, families, and everything, right? But a regular wage is a killer for anything creative or outside of the box that you want to do, right? If you want to try trading, right, you'll go so far, and then you'll go back to the comfort of your salary, right? Please don't start giving up jobs and all that. But this is what I found, right? And or even if you want to, if you want to train to be a barrister, right, or you want to take a leap of faith and become a dentist or something, and it takes years of training and college and university, it's so much easier to just keep accepting that salary, right? And because of my salary, I didn't take the money serious enough, right? If I lost, I was starting out, I wasn't doing big amounts, but if I lost, $50 a trade, I'd be like, so what? Yeah, I've got my salary coming in later on. I had a pretty good paying job. What's the problem? Yeah, oh, no problem. I lost another $50. Oh well, I'm learning. I've got my, my safety blanket, my salary. Another $50. Who cares? Getting my salary on Friday. Do you know what I mean? That's a killer. Yeah, that will kill you. Stop that mindset, right? Every trade is precious, right? Trade it as so, right? And don't think of it as money. Yeah, think of it as percentages. right? Your job in this crazy game of trading is to gain as much percentage of your capital as you can each month by finding high probability trades. It's not make as much money as I can each month. No, it's the, what percentage return can I get each month? So yeah, there's a few things that I would share on when I first started out, and yeah, on my trading journey, guys, right? And like anything, yeah, you've got to commit, right? You've got to, if you want something bad enough, yeah, you've got to commit, you've got to go for it, and yeah, have a bit of determination. There's always that picture, right, of that miner, right? He's underground, he's mining, and there's a bit of rock, and then just behind it is like all these gold and diamonds, right? And that's usually the case. You chip away, chip away, chip away, and just as you're about to give up, the holy grail of consistency was just there, but you stopped, right? So yeah, there's all the things I would say. And good question, Rich Paul. I like this question. Right, what else are we looking at here? Tom, you still close your hedge if candle stays like this, or you keep which candle, which currency pair, Mehi? Please let me know. Greg, how are you, mate? Shreyas, do you think EuroCAD has room for buys? Okay, let's have a look at Euro Canadian dollar. Before we do, guys, if I could ask everyone to please subscribe to the channel, yeah, if you haven't already, please smash the notification button, and if everyone could please smash the like button. While you do that, I'm going to sip coffee. Also, guys, I haven't mentioned this. The editor will beat me if I don't, right? We have a trading community, guys, right? We've got traders who share knowledge, ideas, have a bit of a chit chat throughout the day, because trading can be a pretty lonely place. So please come join our free Discord channel, right? Why the hell not? It's free. Secondly, guys, if you want more than that, and you want access to my trade signals, you want access to my tutorials and strategies, and you want access to me, as in you can ask me questions, then please join the VIP Trading Academy, right? And right now, if you look above my head, if you sign up with a Pepperstone trading account and deposit funds into your own account, right? It's your funds, do it with it what you please. Then we will give you free access to the VIP Trading Academy. All right, so check it out, Pepperstone. And with Pepperstone, guys, you can trade on TradingView, right? It's compatible with TradingView. So I know a few guys in the VIP who use Pepperstone. Everyone speaks highly of them, guys. So please come, open an account, use our affiliate link. That's very important, and we will give you free access to the VIP. Right, Euro Canadian dollar. Is there room to buy? No. Next question. Yeah, clearly not. Right, you're at this level here, right? I know it's broke this level, right? But you're at that level, okay? And just look at that. There are buyers in here, sellers. There are sellers in here. So do you want to keep pushing your luck into there? The answer is no, right? So looking at one chart, I can tell you that, no. If you look at the day chart, yeah, if this was, you could make a gray zone here. This entire wick is where sellers are sitting. So no, right? It might well go up and touch this 5,2000 level, right? But I just don't want to push my luck. I wouldn't want to push my luck with this trade, right? There's not enough room there. Yeah. When you were down here, lovely, right? Loads of room back up to here. Now you're here, no room, no value. There's no value in taking that trade. So Shreyas, no, I wouldn't take EuroCAD. Alex, what is the market sentiment on gold? Okay, so let's take a look. But it's just buy, right? So again, you know, if we look at the weekly chart says it all, really, right? Yeah. So let's do it one step at a time. When my motor mouth gets going, my I don't know if it's my brain doesn't catch up with my mouth or my mouth doesn't catch up with my brain. Either way, it's a problem, right? But we are clearly in an uptrend, and we have a very, and I've missed the news again, haven't I? Bullish weekly candle. So let's just take a quick look at that. I'll go back to gold. Let's play guess the news game. So US dollar strength, I'm seeing. It's like a pound US dollar. US dollar strength, I am seeing. Let's see if it's affected the pound Swiss franc trade. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Euro US dollar. So the news, by my, you know, Sherlock Holmes deduction, is that the employment data was better than expected, right? So where's the editor with the sound effects? So here we go. Yeah, there you go, right? There we go. Thank you, editor. Perfect synergy, me and the editor. So there you go, guys. You know, the main news was as expected, right? But this continuing jobless claims was better than expected. Okay, so let's give strength to the US dollar. All right. So yeah, and the other thing with US dollar is just look at any day chart, right? Expect some US dollar strength, right? It's at a weekly high up here. Expect some selling, right? You look at any of them. Pound US dollar, right? Day chart. Yeah. Expect some selling, right? New Zealand US dollar, day chart. Okay, maybe this has a little bit more room, but generally speaking, look, there's lots of, yeah, expect some selling, right? Any pound pair. What else can we look at? Let's look at Aussie dollar, US dollar. Okay, maybe that has a little bit more room. But you see what I mean, guys. I'm not interested in US dollar because it's at a support and resistance at a lot of currency pairs. Let's look at US dollar, Swiss franc, right, as well. Yeah, this is US dollar CAD, sorry. Yeah, at support. US dollar, Swiss franc, at support. Also, guys, and I've got a little bit sidetracked here, but dollar index, key support, right? So expect some dollar strength. Yeah, maybe for the next day, couple of days, maybe longer, right? But expect some dollar strength. Back to gold. And can we just say how exciting guess the news game is? Yeah. I mean, you're probably all on the, you know, edge of your seats, you know, biting your nails, thinking, could this game get any more exciting? Dear, laughing at my own jokes. Gold, again, right? So bearing in mind what I just said, US dollar strength, this is just in an uptrend, right? But expect some US dollar strength, potentially back down to here. You know, I would look to buy from in here, right? Or even if the moving average 20 comes down, maybe a bit lower, right? But I'm looking for buys after a retrace with gold. Weekly's in an uptrend, daily's in an uptrend. The only thing with gold is it's at all-time highs. So you have no reference point, right? You could be like, right, I'm going to take it to the next piece of resistance. There isn't any, right? You have no reference point. So in this scenario, I just take it to the next psychological level. So we're at 2,500 right now. Next level would be 2,550, right? 2,600, 2,650, and so on. Okay, so that's how I would roll with the target. But everything is telling us to buy gold. Let's have a look at the H4. We want this level to hold, really, right? There's a H4 level through here. Yeah, if that holds, right, we're going higher from here. If it breaks, I think we've got some room to the downside before we come higher, right? But both scenarios, we want to buy gold. Right, what else are we looking at? Yeah, thanks, Nor. Yeah, no problem, Nor. Let us know. Yeah, journal it. Let us know. Brilliant. Okay, so Nguyen, I apologize for my pronunciation. He's saying, I'm in my third year of trading and I'm still at break even and it's not comfortable. Right, so no problem, first of all, being in your third year and at break even, right? Things take time. Things take time to learn. Okay, so no problem with that, right? The one thing I would worry about is that you're not comfortable, right? The holy grail of trading, if you like, right, is being comfortable with your strategy. Now, I did this chart on one of my mentorship sessions, right? So I'm going to draw a little graph. I like a graph, right? So on this axis, we have got time frame, right? And on this axis, we have got comfort. I would say comfortableness, but it's too bloody long. Okay, comfort. So this is comfort in your trading, and this is the time frame. Now, imagine this is the 1 minute chart, and at the end of this spectrum is the day chart. Now, I don't know if I've newly created a chart today. If I have, I'm very excited, right? But this chart sums it up for me, right? And this is uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, right? And this is super comfortable. And that, I can't draw diagonal lines, is the chart, right? So if you trade the 1 minute chart, you're going to be very uncomfortable. If you, I don't know, let's say the H4's in here, right? If you trade the H4 chart, you're going to be more comfortable. If you trade the day chart, you're going to be very comfortable because it's all about the pace, right? On the 1 minute chart, you're going to go gray, lose your mind, and sell a kidney to fund trading, right? Don't do those things. Yeah. If you trade the day chart, it's going to be slow, dull, and boring, which is exactly what it should be. You won't be selling any kidneys, and you'll just be trading very, very slowly and calmly, right? But you have to find your sweet spot. The daily is too slow for me. Okay, this is what I found out. I can't trade it, right? I've tried, I can't, right? And the H4, right, has become, and very much so recently, has become my sweet spot, right? It gives me, let's say, about a trade a day, or two trades every 3 days. Okay, and I'm comfortable trading it, right? It's very slow, methodical. There's no stress, no tension, no nothing. I'm just comfortable, right? So this chart sums it up, right? You need to find a time frame you're comfortable with and make sure your strategy is on that time frame, right? And any strategy should be based around price action, which is all I prattle on about every day. So yeah, I'd say that's a very important graph. So if I hear that someone is uncomfortable, it's probably because of this, right? You have to be, like they always say, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. And it's so true in trading, right? You have to be comfortable in your own strategy, right? You have to be. If you're not, then you're doomed, right? So you've got to find something that you're comfortable with. You might be comfortable, scalping the M15. Maybe you're, you know, highly wired, have a lot of energy, you know, and the M15 might suit you, right? You might have a full-time job, right? And you can only look at the charts a couple of times a week. The day chart might suit you, right? So get comfortable, right? And getting comfortable is all about finding the right strategy for you. Okay. Right. What else are we going to look at? Yeah, so there you go, RH9. I've sort of answered this question. How many trades a day do you usually take, Tom? And when is your last one? In the middle end of the New York session. So generally speaking, like I say, I'll probably get 2 trades every 3 days. Some days I get 2, sometimes I get none. But yeah, averaging 1 a day or 2 every 3, 2 every 3 days. And I, generally speaking, I kind of stop trading when the New York Open happens, right? If I'm in a trade, I let it, I'll keep an eye on it. I manage trades, right? But I'm usually done. I usually find a setup at the end of the Asian session, start of the London Open, you know, I will find a setup, but you know, I can't control that. If my setup happens at, you know, midway in the New York session, I probably still will take it if I'm looking at the charts. But chances are I'm not looking at the charts because, you know, I've got a family and I don't want to be all consumed by trading. So really set some times for you to trade. And if you miss a trade, don't worry, right? But stick to your times. Yeah, because otherwise, you know, trading again, we spoke about my early days of trading. You know, it was all consuming for me, right? It was not a good life trading balance. Okay, so make sure you have that as well. Guys, yeah, please come join our trading community, right? Yeah, we've got traders. Come share your knowledge, ideas, have a chit chat. Come join our free Discord. Also, guys, if you sign up with Pepperstone above my head right now, we will give you, and you deposit some funds into your own trading account. We will give you free access to the VIP Trading Academy. All right, so what's not to like? Yeah, change your broker, or if you need a broker, come join Pepperstone. All right, and on that note, I am going to call it a day. All right, so thank you very much, guys, for your time today. I really appreciate it. We cannot do it without you. Thanks for all your great questions. I enjoyed the questions today. And I will see you next time. Adios.